The 15th competition of the 2023 LPGA Tour of Korea season brings us to Birch Hill here in Pyeongchang, where as the low ceiling and clouds roll in above the course, we are set to dip beneath the cloud cover and bring you round one of three of the McCol Mona Yong Pyong Open with SBS Golf. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's a pleasure, as always, to have you aboard on this 21-degree Friday afternoon. We'll begin our coverage on the 7th hole with Sung Eugene. She is currently 4 under par, 4 strokes off our leader at 8 to the good. Nice drive that will come to rest in the middle of the fairway. Pyong, she is even through 8, playing her third on the par 5, and the letter E beside her name will not survive much longer. That is a very makeable birdie putt on a wonderfully played approach to the right side of the green. Another swing and a blast, this time from Hong Jung-min, and she follows suit down into the fairway. Tricky downhill putt that is nearly on target for Lee So-young, but it rims around and will not drop for her birdie. On to 9, Hong Jung-mi, 116 out on this final par 4 before the turn. Club. She is well away, playing the hill course on the way out, birch on the way in. And that putt had the pace, but unfortunately did not have the line.
Nice putt.
Consecutive pars here at 7. This for Han Chin's son. Bogeyed the third, picked the stroke rate back up on number 4. Wendiga Young. Down the hill, right back up on line. And she'll feel at long last under par into a tie for 38th position. And from the right side of the fairway on 9, Kim Woo-jung. She takes a tight line. Gets it to stop with the help of that uphill slope. You can see the hole in this opening round in a bit of a valley, that middle right. That's great. That's a proper look for birdie to come. Hong Jung-min will be hoping for the same fate, almost the middle of the green here. She's gonna stay up on the rise. Slopes down from there, slopes right. She needs the ladder. 2-putt par likely in her immediate future. Coach Yu, she was trying to reach in 2, comes up a bit short, but she's able to float up that third shot to leave her with only 5 or 6 feet for a birdie. It's a 251-meter drive, 78 meters to go, over the water, over the sand. Wind fairly calm at the moment. Perfect line. Maybe just a bit too much weight. Just off left, Jung over the water. Down it comes. She heads to that deep left side of the screen. Tricky up and down will be next for her with putter. And now this for Pei So-hyun needs to skirt down the right edge, trying to figure out how much speed she needs. She was nearly exact on her calculations. Just a little nudge for her par. Would have been her third birdie of this front nine, but she stays at 1 under par. And now here she comes, Chung Yoon-ji. Up she goes, and knew she needed some speed. Carries a little bit extra with her. Jung-mi back at 9, towards the right side of the green.
Okay, nice touchy.
It's always going to be a tricky one from there. Respectable effort. A little bit of break here for Coach Yu. She looks for her birdie. And it comes nicely read and nicely struck. She moves into a tie for the top 10. Great run she's put together with 3 birdies in her last 4 holes. It's red hot out there. Jung-min can also get under par, but needed a little bit more speed. Not sure the line would have been there for her, even with a little extra power. And for Kim Woo-jung, she is playing this uphill with the wind right in her face, looking for her birdie. There it goes to the left. Action says it all, just about hovering over the edge. We'll settle for a par. Back to back and some solid momentum into the turn. She goes out, however, with a 35. And Pak Bo-gyam, simple birdie. And she sees under par for the second time today, but had a sequence of bogeys that brought her back after a blazing start with back-to-back birdies. And the 7th not making a whole lot of friends out of our group here. Sung Yoo-jin stays perfect, tied for 5th, 4 under. Give you the lay of the land on hole number 9 here. Already seen some of the approach shots, but as you can see from the teeing grounds, big time uphill. That's right side sand trap 170 meters to clear, then into the fairway. The the slightest of turns out to the right, and the pin placement in this first round, well, it is short to the front side of the green and right, only 7 yards on. Coach Hugh is the first to tee off with driver. Averaging only 136 yards remaining after the drive. Only 3 players have been stuck in and around that fairway bunker today. ENG, great look at a birdie. Showing off that little bit extra power again. And yes, of course, apologies, 3-putt bogey. Thought I had it right the first time. The graphic threw me off for a moment there. Back to 9, Peso Hyun disappears down the crest on the left side. Looks like it's rough. See what kind of lie she is in for in just a few minutes. In the meantime, just about a 5-footer uphill, Hong Jung-mi salvages her par. Out with a 35, her birdie came at the opening hole of the day. There are 132 players in the field this week, battling for 800 million won. No Peng Min-ji, who was, of course, our winner last time out, the BC Card Hanggyang Ladies Cup. She has headed it across the Pacific to try and contend on the LPGA Tour this particular week, but still some big names in contention, with our leader currently at 8 under par, an opening round of 64, all the way down to Chanana, who shot a 83 plus 11 in her opening round. We'll take a quick pause. More from the McCol Mona Young Pyong Open with SBS Golf when we return. Welcome back to Birch Hill. Quite the dramatic look from the teeing ground down into the fairway of this penultimate hole before the turn. Sung Eugene dropping that expertly into the fairway from high up above. We have Bowing Sun, the mountain here, the 12th highest mountain in the country, nearly 1,500 meters above sea level. The altitude and the change of elevation throughout the course might make some players in the field a bit grateful that it's only 3 rounds compared to a 4-round event. And at 8, Pyong, she had to walk that tightrope with little wiggle room on either side. She is off to a great start as well. Her 3rd birdie through her first 8 holes. And all the way back as she and her group clear out. Chung Yoon-ji the last to drive. Struggling a bit with the accuracy once again, but she might get a little bit of extra help here. Down the cart path. Not that she's a player that needs any assistance in her distance, but bounces a couple of times, will eventually stop. She'll take her free relief and we'll go from there. Yu, her 2nd at 9. Looking towards the right side. Could have used a little bit of extra wind at her back there, but she is in the right vicinity of the green. So Young, her 3rd on the par 5. Until she wasn't fully on balance. Kind of swung up through the ball, but doesn't affect the end result any. Sits right at the edge of the fringe. That's a great extra kick. Precisely what her group mate would have been hoping for. Proper look at birdie for her next. And now, Yong. She admitted she's a little tired, the 24-year-old, but she had momentarily taken the lead in the 2nd round last week. She said, "I'm looking forward to this week. My shot condition has gone up. And the accuracy, especially at Birch Hill, is very, very important." So she'll say, or she went on to say that hoping to forget last week's regrets and participate fully in this tournament with a new heart, doing her best to achieve better than last week. Jungmin from a decent tee shot to another accurately played second. Finds herself towards the middle just before the turn towards the green. And Sung Eugene. Couple of pars since her run of 4 birdies in a row. G is next after taking her club length. Back on track. Everyone with a audible gasp. Came awfully close, but no birdie to be. Coach Yu downhill, but runs out of speed. $16 of rain the past 24 hours. These greens are definitely playing soft. So Yong from the fringe to about 6 inches. It's a 5 on 8 for her. Stays at 2 under. From a downhill putt at 9 to an uphill putt. Peso Hyun. Offline. Pulls inside. Goes out with a 35, tied for 36th at 1 under. Only 83 meters to go. Something of a rarity. Not able to find the green in regulation. It's her first miss in her GIRs today. Speaking of miss, quickly to the inside of the hill, and she has to quickly refocus. Back up she comes to avoid bogey. She does so. Back bogey. Unable to go back to back. Also 1 under at the turn. G floats it up. She'll be playing her 4th from almost the extreme back right corner. up short. She had been 4 for 4 on her approach shots on the par 4s, but hasn't found one on the par 5 yet today. Ijum continues to be our leader with her closest challenger, Sung Eugene, who nears the turn 4 back. Yong with a 65 in the opening round, An Sun Ju with a 66 in round 1. Im Jin Young goes with a 67 for fourth position and 5 under par. Another quick break. More from the LPGA Tour of Korea on the other side. We return to 8 with Hong Jung-min attacking the pin from off the green to about 4 feet away. just outside of the big white target in the middle of the fairway, Che Reem. From 128 meters out, she's at even, looking for a little magic. Boost her spirits heading towards the back nine. Put herself in a great spot to deliver upon that. Some Eugene, this is what would be for a birdie. After her rare miss from off the green, she collects the clubs she will trade off with her caddy. Have about 3-footer to mitigate any potential strokes gained. Strokes lost, I should say. Buckyell at 9. We have someone right, we have someone short, and we have someone left now out of this trio. Really good illustration of how much this putt is going to move. She'll start it to our left. Here it comes. A little timid.
Okay.
Stuck in neutral a bit right now. She tries to get this round into gear. He won. Will dip above par after her bogey here. Jungmin makes it 5 from 5. She'll be happy she's not dropping strokes, but will be getting a little bit anxious. It's been so long since her most recent birdie. Back at 9, that putt just didn't want to come back right for Buckyell. To play on this front 9. 4 pars, 4 birdies. Sung Eugene in great stead. The gallery perfectly illustrates frustration for Che Reem, who was that close to getting her first birdie of the round, but it is a par perfect 36 at the turn. "20 degrees and overcast today. Wind 3.4 meters per second out of the northeast. On and off rain for the remainder of the day. Let's check out the latest with the KLPGA's Champions Tour. Tang Shiu, winner of the Unsung Methodist Design Champion Tour with Easy Sky Country Club. Good to see her back in the winner's circle. Ijumi just one shot back of the course record, a 63, and a little extra incentive this week for anyone who is able to top that mark that was set way back in 2017. The then amateur Che Jean. 2 million won in cash up for grabs. It seems fitting that the Kia EV9 brings us the 9th hole. Quite a dramatic downslope if anyone is to come short of the sand trap. But only 3 times today have we seen players not clear. And from there on, average distance to the hole, 136, leaving a 5.7 yard putt. We've seen 14 birdies here today, 45 pars, 6 bogeys, and only 1 double. Takes quite the carom. Heads to the second cut just off the fairway. Gill on 10. Kick on down. Not quite going to have enough to reach the Mediheel contribution zone. The McCol zone, of course. On the 9th and 10th holes, 500,000 won donated for every tee shot in the zone, up to a maximum of 30 million. Ream will be hoping to turn some of those pars from the front 9 into birdies on the back. It's a good way to start. Just short. Bean with the rain jacket on. Big blast. She's going to stop, and that's 500,000 won. Great drive and a good cause. Everybody wins. It's gotta feel pretty good too. That's dead center. Moving right along. .3 is the distance for Yong. Grazes that left edge. Awfully close to a birdie. Yong, she's staring at a complicated putt with a fair bit of break. Running it uphill. Needed to start that more to the right. Spot of trouble. Side bunker. A whole lot of room to land it without making things worse. Great bit of loft, but needed that on the other side of the pin. Sun for a front nine of 35. Also bails left. From the fringe out left by Pyong. To about 3 feet away. ENG with the wind at her back. Didn't need as much club as she took. Looks a bit perplexed. Just how far that accelerated off her wedge. Muster up a little bit more precision. 119 and an 8 iron. Lands with a thud. Stops in pretty good position. About a 9-footer. So Hyun coming back up and gets level with the hole. But the right to left break will deny her a 1-putt finish. And lastly, Sung Eugene trying to avoid missing the grid regulation for consecutive holes and makes it look simple. Best approach shot of the lot. trying to also become a multi-winner this season after we saw Pyong do it last week. It's her second birdie in the last 3 holes. Five wood in hand here at number 10. 215 for Che Ream. And she's just gonna have enough roll to get up. Almost pin high. She will have that putt for eagle. Through was just shown. So Cindy Bean can join her up on the green. She's gonna get into that hill just before the green. Not gonna have enough to roll on through the rough. Up and down for birdie though is always a good proposition.
Oh, I'm not. 네, 알겠습니다. 자.
Yong in this group teed off at 12:15 this morning, about 2.5 hours ago. They now begin the back 9 birch course. Longer stretch here, 10 through 18, nearly 3,000 meters, 29.95 to be precise, 28.89 the front 9. We have another 500,001. So Young depositing that into the fairway target. Well, looked good, sounded good. Center of the fairway just shy of our target though. ENG coming back up, stops about 3 feet shy. Some company down there. front left. That will feel like a mountain of relief off her shoulders. Her first birdie since the second. Nice way to end the front nine for Hong Jung-min. Well, no birdie, but she is still out and has done half of the lifting. At long last for Jae-reem. Took an extra second to make sure she wasn't stepping in anyone's line, but some good momentum we're starting to pick up here. Hong Jung-min, Jae-reem, both in the birdie column again. Sun Ye-bin was trying to get there, but was way too far down on this green. Awfully close. Back-to-back pars for Pyong, still 5 back. Oh, an incredible opening 9 for Lee Jae-hyun too, who is 6 under through 10, having started on the 10th hole. She is just 2 back with lots of golf still to be played. Sung Ga-eun, similar fate, 11 under, or excuse me, 4 under through 11. Sung Eugene, of course, 4 under through 9, as is Park Jae-eun. Chi-han Sol putting together a great round as well at 4 under through 8. We'll be back at the Birch Hill Country Club in just a few moments. back to Pyeongchang. Hard to believe, over 5.5 years since this lovely city hosted the 2018 Winter Olympics. Nearby Alpensia hosted many of the mountain sports. We are here at Birch Hill for the first of 3 rounds, event 15 of the season. And that is going to not be a welcome sight. Rolling through the rough, catching it a little bit on the heel, and from a great spot on the fairway to the bunker. It's 205 for Yong. She is going to end up on the green. Maybe. Yes, only just. All the way to the back with her second shot. Everything about that reaction from Yong spells trouble. Up near the trees and a big kick. It's definitely in the rough. Just a matter of how much damage control she will be facing next. Well, our featured group has reached the 10th tee. 3:05 local time here, northeast of the country. Shot up and looking a little left. Comes back down. Roughly level with the end of the target. Eugene not sure where this is headed. Just about a pace behind her group mates. Right of target. ENG loses her top hand, and the sound of the trees as the ball crushes it and drops in and around that sand trap dyed pink. Frustrating tee shot for her, to say the least.
11. Okay, so Hyun. That to drop left. Stays above the hole, and it will be a second putt required for par. And up on a perch on 10. Young, and down the hill with a very aggressive pin placement today, right at the front. There's her work cut out for her. Yong. Second on 11, 142 meters. Going left to right with an 8-iron. Exactly where she wants to be, that part of the green. He's so young. This is quite the putt she has, looking for an eagle. She's going to get that pin high, which is an accomplishment in its own right. About 5 feet will separate her from a birdie. So she knows she's dry, and she knows she's not in the sand. How she will play out from that lie is another story that we will investigate further momentarily. So look at birdie for Young. From her miss with the second shot, I think she would be quite all right with a 2-putt par. Doesn't seem to be any leaves overhanging for the swing. How does she escape? She has no idea. She waits for a reaction from her caddy. Pretty much the best she could have hoped for. Sun rides that line, gets under par. Good way to start the back nine. First birdie since the 4th hole, and under par for the first time today. Up to 11. So maybe bounces twice and comes up just short of her group mate in that back right corner. And back-to-back birdies out of this group. Okay, so Young, her 3rd of the day, 1, 6, and now 10. She's tied for 14th. Up and down is complete. Cards her 5. Well, we've seen this exact lie several times the past 45 minutes or so. We wait for the camera to cut. It does, and it shows her just off the fringe on the left.
Certainly hear the creek just to the right. She catches it beautifully. Takes the kick about as far down as that rough gets before the green. Gonna be a bit short. Coming down left, Sonia Bean. Bit too quick. Decent judgment on that line. And now the third shot for ENG. Try to get it to stick. Still have a look at that birdie, as low percentage as it might be. The same shot for Pyong, just from a couple of steps closer. Slim miss she could possibly get at 11. It's a tricky putt. She played it well. Not going to do anything to update her particular score, however. So 20 meters out for Sung Eugene. Up from the rough and running it real close. Six iron for Buckiel on the par 3. Can't stay on the green. So maybe next to play on the short par 3. .1. It's gonna move.
Here it comes. A little too much power. It's a tight line she was playing. She's on the approach on 11. To the right she heads. Some great speed. Much simpler birdie putt than the previous group to have come through there. To get to 2 under par, just a little tap. Wasn't on line. On the green with 3 very different looking putts. See many of those out of her today. Tight line, just couldn't knock it down.
Okay.
Yong makes that 3 straight pars. Been a minute since she has seen a birdie. It came at a par 3, which is on the near horizon. But before they get there, 369 meter par 4 11th. With the water off to the right. Tall tree just as the fairway winds away. You do not want to be stuck in that crater down with the tree, that's for certain. But assuming you play a simple enough and straightforward enough drive, well, you get to look down towards the green here with lots of sand defending its right. Played something of a tricky hold today. Only 9 birdies all day long. Rio looking for her birdie. Breaks just as she moved level with the pin. Came on down, but with too much speed, and it kicks back out. Ji-hyun has narrowed the gap to just one stroke, finds herself 7 under through 12. Sunggaeun 5 under through 13, with everyone chasing down Lee Joo-mi's round of 64 in this opening round of the McCol Mona Young Pyong Open with SBS Golf live from Birch Hill Country Club.
we'll pick things back up with our featured group. Here's Hong Jung-min. Her second shot just narrowly avoiding a treacherous position. Gives her a nice view, however. She plays her shot down onto the green. Starting its way towards the center, but well short. Also towards the knoll and starting to roll back down. So Yong on the par 3. Ends up being a one-handed swing. Can't keep it down. That'll roll into the rough. Well, you can't play an approach shot any better than that. That is the stuff that highlight reel producers dream of. To within mere inches from the fairway, a certain birdie coming for Chung Yoon-ji. You want to stay on the front side of the green here, and that is precisely where she is able to land it off the tee. Nicely played by Yong. Long she stares that down and replays it in her mind, it's not going to change her score. She won't face an easier putt today. Second birdie of the day and her first since hole number 6. And over on 14, the effort rolls just shy. Hong Jung-min needed that to save a par, but left herself with far too much work. Someone picking up a stroke, we have someone dropping. Duality of golf, isn't it? So Yong playing from the rough and nearly holding out from the rough.
Good bit of short game skill. So Eugene trying to follow along in this birdie parade, but comes up just short. Just over a foot for her par. It's the tough side of this sport. Just to try not to get too much in her head and think, is there ever going to be another birdie, or did I go through my lot too early? And Jean's son, that was her look to get to 2 under. Not enough speed. And it's going to take a tiny tap. And once again, back in the par column. So Hyun uphill and up to 2 under par with that birdie. Tied for 28th now. She celebrates with a big smile. Some disbelief and a little exasperation. She is almost every tournament one of the most vocally supported players on tour. Dedication is quite impressive. Almost as impressive as that putt. Second birdie now, the back 9. 5th of the day. Those 2 bogeys have her at 3 under. Update on Lee Ji-hyun 2, still 1 back through 12. Sungyeon through 14, now 2 back, on pace for a 66. And there was a time we thought we would be seeing Sung Eugene up on this part of the leaderboard, but her birdies have dried up. She is still at 4 under par.
coverage of the opening round of this 15th event of the season rolls right along. Into the second half we go, just as we go to the tee of the par 3 12th. So Eugene could use a bit of a pick-me-up here. I'll have to pick up that score and head to the front page of the leaderboard, but not off to a great start. She's unable to get herself on the narrow landing patch just off the fringe of this green. No such troubles with that approach shot to about 8 feet away. Now Hong Jung-min. She'll be on just before the narrow. Pyong back at 14, playing a 58 degree. Trying to get it close. Well, she succeeds in that. That would be an understatement. Type of birdie putt she could make with her eyes closed. Coach Yu, just enough to get up. From that range, she could get away with being a touch frustrated, not to be a little closer. Swoops away from Pacquiao. She was also trying to join, so Eugene at 4 under. Trying to escape. She's going to just helps her out a little bit, as that was going to pick up some speed. But she was very narrowly ending up where she started in that rough. Eugene with much better touch, just about hold out. She was that close to getting back in the birdie column. Left to right, that ball flares. So Hyun has to watch it continue to pick up speed as it rolls past her target.
This is tricky. That puts it mildly. Down in the sand, I believe. Of course, we don't have a camera to show us exactly the lie. Flash of the sand confirms what we thought. And he's so young, he's not going to be able to get to the other side of that hump in the middle of the green. She'll head back all the way to the fringe. Jungmin still stuck it even. Coach Yu, another case of overhit. Not online. Uneventful 4-foot putt for her par. And Jung Yoon-ji trying to avoid dropping that birdie. She just worked so hard to collect. She's dialed it in. Still all the way down in the tie for 42nd. Escapes without any damage. Yum, it was a mere formality. She now finds herself level with that young woman. Gonna get a quick power up. Should go for some of that right now, I'll tell you that for free.
집에 가서 드셔도 돼요. 속 소리는 들리거든. 속초반도 잘. 맞습니다. 차량에 조금 좀 바꿔주세요.
So young. Would have been birdie, nowhere near hard enough.
이제 바람 안 봐도 돼.
I should enjoy that snack. After another successful drive, she has been so good with that club today.
서브크림 맞춘 거야 혹시? 맞췄냐고? 어제 보였어.
From beneath the canopy of trees, Jung Yoon-ji also drives, disappears under the crest, but that looks to be okay. Cherim, her second from inside of 100 meters, two inside, maybe two. Birdie written all over that. Great up. Another uneventful drive. Those are often the best ones. Jungmin and company on the march on the par for 13th. And each of the next 4 holes, par 4s, before we end on a 3 and a 5. A hole further down the course, Hanchin's Sun. Oh, so close to birdie. Just a little nudge, all the more frustrating. Still 1 under, heading to 14th tee. Sonia Bean, straight up in the air. Needed a hole out to avoid a bogey. She's not going to be able to salvage this hole. She will be dropping. Now only 4 holes remain for Ji-hyun 2 to find that 1 last stroke to tie the lead, 2 to tie the course record. Sung Gaeun 6 under through 15. Just 3 holes to play with the same at stake for her. More from Birch Hill after another quick break.
welcome to hour 3 as we near the home stretch. 9-iron for Sung Yoon is a dart. Might that just be the forthcoming moment where she gets back to her birdieing ways? Certainly that is the aspiration here, though, from a much less likely scenario. Splits the gap. The other members of her group. Pyong will settle for what is her 6th par in a row, still tied for 15th. Chung Yoon did find the sand after all. A little bit awkward as she had 1 foot in the bunker, 1 foot in the rough. Minimizes the potential fallout, and even she can't help but crack a wry smile. Reem slightly rolls in, and yes, back to under par. Now she needs to get through the next hole without dropping the stroke she just gained. Off to the back, couldn't hang on. Jungmin, like we're looking at another par. From the fairway to about pin high. That quest for birdie ends in a touch of disappointment as she hangs her head in frustration. Two feet, take the par, carry on. So Yong joins the fray. Proving to be a difficult pin placement on this Friday. Coach Yu on 15 just comes up short of a birdie. There's always going to be an outside chance. Jungmin to make sure she's all clear to finish this out, and she does so with a par. Pyong
without much fanfare. That's quite the putt, considering it is 3 birdies from 3. She moves to 3 back and a tie for 6th position. There have been few tearing up the course quite as much as she has done the last 20 minutes or so. For ENG, that ball keeps on rolling. ENG patiently waiting for her turn. And from off the green, he's so young. Came close to a small miracle. A little bit of drama at the end. But yes, that will feel oh so good after 7 straight pars back in the birdie column. So no, she didn't use up all the magic, maybe quite a bit of it, but still remaining for a late round push. Shouldn't be on the extreme end of the complicated spectrum. And yet, can't get it to go. Five to go. Begins on 14. Straight off the tee through the undulating fairway. That is 7 stripes wide. 230 meters from the tee, the end of the right sand trap, and then the hole starts to meander. A huge, almost spider-shaped bunker to the left side of the fairway, defending the pin. A hole that has seen 22 birdies today. So Eugene would like to make that 23. Pin placement, the front quarter, more left than center. She is definitely in the zone today.
샷.
A fine drive.
됐다. 나이스 버디. 한진선 화이팅!
And Jin Sun, birdie number 3 today. She's come close on so many occasions, but doing her scorecard a favor. Well, as the ball hovers over the fringe, not enough speed to head on down. Have the option to chip or putt. 154 from the right side of the fairway for Pacquiao on 15, her second. Bounds up high in the air. She nearly drilled that off the pin. Nahi 1 is +2 through 15, playing her second. Tasty bit of backspin. Leave her with about 4.5, 5 meters for a birdie. Jungmin from the sand on 14. Lands and stops like a magnet, and that's probably for the best, as otherwise that would be careening off the back of the green. Only 86 meters to go after another great drive from Chung Yoon-ji. Backspin will bring her closer to the left side of the green where she needs to be. Jae Reem bounces up and rolls on down that slope. In previous days, that's probably an eagle. You can see the outline of a previous pin placement. Everyone is just trying to ride the coattails of Sung Eugene. Birdie ends the drought. Let's see if she can start another run like she had done earlier in the round. here on 15, Che Ream. Started the ball right and stayed right. So it will be a par. He won. She could really use this birdie to get closer to even. Offline and overhit. Story of her day. The putter letting her down. Back to 14. It was a valiant try. Par now is no guarantee. Outside look at bird, Yong. She's 7 back at the moment. Remains 7 back. Sonia Bean, you look at that scorecard, you see 3 birdies on it. The most recent 2, sandwiching a bogey. Back to under par, however. Back to back. She's on it again. A little more light-footed in her step with 4 holes to try and find at least 2 strokes for a share, or 3 for the lead and the joint course record. It's a fortuitous kick back towards the pin to within about 4 feet of it. That could have been complete and utter disaster, and that look of relief says it all. The golf gods like to give gifts sometimes.
아니 내가 보기엔 웃기는 안 해. 우리 애도 웃기는 안 해.
16 came up without a birdie. Anyone trying again.
내가 원하는 게 저건데.
Surely she won't let that opportunity pass her by, and also shows that she needed that.
아 그래요?
He's so young. It's a backspin. Doesn't quite get it in time. She's the furthest out in the group. Should be a couple of birdies in that mix, however. This run of holes can make or break a round. 15, 16, and 17. The final par fours leading up to the par 3 before the longest hole on course, save for number 10, ends the round. A lot of players out of the 132 that began the day jockeying for position. Quietly, Jung-mi is one of them. She's in the mix, but to be knocking on the door of first, she needs a couple more birdies, and on that hole, an example that she needs the tee shot to be a little bit more precise. She had a run of 4 on the front 9. She is in the middle of what she hopes is a repeat here on the back. Sung Eugene. Gonna shape this around the trees with a wood. As you might expect for someone who has struck the ball off the tee especially so well today, no drama. Unfortunately for Chung Yoon-ji, you cannot say the same about her proficiency with that club today. She is a very, very lucky young lady that that ball dropped straight down and did not get buried in the forest. That could have been a heck of a lot worse. Well, that quiet push towards the top has hit quite a stumble. Jung-mi is about to bogey.
내리막 많아 엘리야.
Bogyam. She's going shot for shot with Sung Yoon Jin at the moment. Also has a run of 4 birdies. She would need to make it 6 from 6 to be in a share of the lead, but take nothing away from the momentum and confidence she is gathering late in this round. So Yong could use a little momentum. Not a player that often lacks for confidence, but at the moment she's lacking for birdies. Well, she lets another opportunity slip through her fingers like sand. And that high-spirited, good-natured bit of banter after the tee shot has completely evaporated. A couple of bogeys in the day will never be conducive to good spots on the leaderboard. But approach shots that lead to 4-foot birdie looks like this. That's the ticket. Trying to keep a level head, but you can tell the excitement's starting to bubble. 4th birdie of the day for Henshin Sun.
나이스 버디.
Kim Woo-jung with her 4th birdie of the day. A bogey-free round. We'll head to the last. She's already halved the lead. See how much closer, if any, she can get. We mentioned the luck. Doesn't mean that this is a straightforward or easy shot for Chung Yoon-ji, but she was not very far removed from being buried in those woods and having to take a penalty. She's had similar shots to this today, but stuck in the tall leaves of the plants in the rough as well. And that's left. Stays in the rough, again avoids the trees, but with how far that ball was beneath her feet, she wasn't able to send that back towards the fairway. Stuck in the front right off the tee. Looks like that is where the run of birdies will end. Now, Wong Jung-min. Can she set up a short look at a bird? Not quite. She can hole out, but it's a wide open green. .127 meters if she's there in 2 strokes. She's tied for 2nd. It's a 9-iron. Had the distance off to the right, but about pin high. Never say never. That putter's been brilliant today as well. Finally see her on page 1. Tied with Pak Bo-gyam, who has played 2 more holes than she. Lee Ji-hyun 2,
One back through 16, Sunggaeun, one back through 17. Close to the top, and the top is still being occupied by Lee Joo-mi, with Lee Jae-young hanging on to second position. Take a quick break. More from Birch Hill on the other side. Stay with us. .30 p.m. local time here in Pyeongchang. Down to the final handful of holes. Handful of strokes already on this par 4 for Chung Yoon-ji. Jung-min from off the green, runs it up, starts on its way back towards the right, but comes up just shy. Holds the follow through, and she watches it all the way down to the green. A little bit more shallow
than she would have liked. This is where one of our stars of the show takes the spotlight again. An uphill putt for birdie to be one back of the lead. She doesn't strike it firm enough. She wasn't able to stay in the fairway, so she plays this approach shot from the rough. Well, that was damage control. She's just about undone it. Great look at a birdie. Is a lonely walk. There may never come a day for her where she plays an uneventful round. She is either untouchable or unable to build some momentum, and it's led her to lots of success. Many on tour would love the inconsistency if it meant the wins and the high finishes too. Yum from the fringe to about 3 feet away. The final par 4 of the day, 16, 348 meters. The year she set the course record, 2017. Bizarre to see amateur beside Jae Jin's name. The graphics, a blast from the past as well. It's a long way up, 16. 130 meters left, uphill 10 meters, 100 meters right at the turn. 5 meters uphill from the teeing ground. Center right of the fairway. So it won't be a duplicate run of 4 birdies. But 4 and 5 would accomplish the same feat. It's also moved right. Hong Jung-min just hasn't been able to capture that sustained bit of shot making, especially with their short game today. We go to 18. Kim Woo-jung heads to the back. Inches ever closer down the hill back towards the pin.
Okay.
ENG, that will go down again as a fairway missed. She's gone through it, just in the rough at the turn. More from 18. Nice bit of backspin to keep the slim hope of birdie alive. Sonia Bean, 4-iron on the 164 meter par 3. Needed a bit of extra club to reach, but not the loft she needed to prevent that outcome. Just skirts outside. Slightest miss to the right denies a birdie. Pick up a crack for Unshin Sun as her run will end at back-to-back. Che Ream goes with a 5-iron. Different approach, much better results. Little helpful roll down the bank. So Young comes up empty-handed. And the next groups to come through 17 include Pakyal and her 4-iron. As we've seen, they want very close to that back right edge. But they don't want to be on the fringe, that's for certain. This lozenge-shaped green welcomes another. We'll need to be much better with our wedges and irons tomorrow. 3 holes to play. Sung Eugene keeps the door open. Bank's been a big help as she advances about 3 feet from where she landed. The gallery erupts in anticipation, but no birdie to serenade. Comes up short. 2 putts and a par to end the day. Kim Woo Jung and her round draws to a conclusion after a late push. From a long way out, it was a glimmer of hope. It doesn't miss by much, but she will still be staring down a par. Bent at the knees, rocked back on her heels, wanted the ball to play along, as if she could impact it as it was moving further away from target. This on 15. Chien Sol is 3 back. Can she make it 2? Not quite. Runs out of speed. First time we see her today. That bright red that's been making an indelible mark on this field. Tied for 7th, she is at 5 under. Sung Eugene on the green, outside look to get to 7 under. Lee Ji Hyun 2 on her final hole of the day can birdie and make it a 3-way tie at the top, as Sung Gaun is in the clubhouse also with a round of 64.
Spotlight on the 16th green. Hong Jung-min is 8 back. She'd like to reduce that, if only by a slight margin. Need to give it a good crack. Another hole without a birdie. She saw her run and birdie snapped. Jean Sun looks like she's gonna go another hole without one. Chung Yun-ji needing a bounce back after her bogey. Lots of speed, in fact too much. Young, 1 under through 16. She plays 5 iron on her final par 3 of the day. Gets a good hop and a skip onto line to about 9 feet above the hole. It's about as close as you can get. A nudge, all it takes to finish. And she is through all the par 4s today. 2 back, of 2 at the top. Going to just avoid the fringe, but no closer than her group mates. He's so young and company on the march. A beautiful resort here, tucked into the mountainside. We came awfully close to tying a course record today. Doesn't appear as though we're gonna get there, despite some late pushes from the likes of Pak Bo-gyam and Sung Eugene. Had she had 0.5% more power on that putt and had her birdie, she'd still be alive. She and Seoul would need 4 strokes in the final 3 holes of her day to do it. So it looks like Jae Jean's record from 2017 will live to fight another round.
Well, despite not her best tee shot, it still left Yong with the chance at a birdie. She very nearly took it too. Hear the groans of anticipation and hope. See the smile of a job well done, nearly exceeding expectations. Here it comes back. That was not a simple putt. She made it look a heck of a lot easier than it had been. Fortunately, she has no score to show for it. Plenty of backspin, and that brings her into a nice little lie. Nice and neat down 18. Back on 17, Yong to get to 2 under. Catches a piece. Tough to not feel anything more than cursed today. Pyong, 59 meters out. 6 under, 66 would be quite the day. Could have reached for a bit more power. She's the furthest out of the lot. Well, the 17th hole, no doubt an unbelievable test. 5 bunkers, woods on either side, and 164 meters. Not for the faint of heart. Just 10 yards from the back, towards the bunker, where these tee shots need to go through the narrow pass. Well, she's safe, and the safety first adage will once again treat her fairly well. Might not result in a birdie. That putter's got some magic. And with this just being Fridays, the gallery has time to fill out still this weekend. And it's free admission this week, which is a very cool initiative. Of course, also having a gallery putting contest and chipping contest with some cool prizes on the line. Jung Min also finds the green, but narrowly. End of the day for Coach Yu ends with a birdie, out with a 33, in with an even par 36. Tied for 16th. Last tee shot of the group. Nice Chung Yoon-ji and her 5-iron. And again, she looks displeased. And that would be why. To the beach. Pak Bo-gyam, that would have been for the teased round of 66. She will settle for a 67 and 5 under. Incredible back nine. Unfortunate to see 3 squares on that scorecard. Tell you, we don't have those where I'm from. Although the biggest coyote I've ever seen just walked past our studio here. Bae So-hyun ends with a birdie. 35 out and in. Finishes 2 under for this opening round.
한 발이 미쳐요. 전 10발.
Che Ream, 105 meters from a tiny stretch of rough.
제가 할게요. 네.
And just when you thought there was a little bit of a lull, Sung Eugene says, "Remember me." And how could we not? 1 hole to play, one of her best putts of the day. And that list includes some pretty marvelous moments from the past 4 hours and change. Let's go to 18. Let's see if we can keep the highlights flowing. But Gyal, well, she's on to a good start. Turning up the wick a little bit in these final moments, these final holes of the round. Been one of those days for Chung Yoon-ji, unfortunately. Maybe as symbolic as it gets right there. Just about saved her bogey. Narrowly. It stops short, and she goes over par. Jungmin avoids the similar fate, but she has not seen a birdie since 9. Been a slow back 9. And heading on back, and a crescent-shaped line. Not to be. Well, after her marvelous setup shot, excuse me, she is unable to convert on the birdie, and that was the story of her back 9. Pacquiao finishes tied for 16th at 3 under. 33 on the way out, 36 on the way in. Reem, it is a par, and it is a round of 71. Tied for 43rd, birdies at 10 and 14, and a bogey at 11. All pars the rest of the way. Sonye Bean, 34 on the way in. 3 birdies on this back 9. 2 under. And this is not great at 18 for Yong.
다시 치면 돼.
How in the world? That's how, is our answer. It's the only thing she could do, layup. Could have gone a heck of a lot worse. Short of the green as she tries to look up and spot where she's landed. Up with the flourish from Wenjin Sun. Two great approach shots back to back. It's been an absolute delight to watch her play today. Consistency almost goes without saying. Why not? One more from off the green. He's so young. Her fourth birdie of the day. Maybe the most dramatic. And a big smile as she finishes with a 69 in this first round. It's the only one of the three to not reach. Had no business getting there. Clearly someone forgot to pass that memo along. Ricochet off a tree trunk, high off the cart path, and will settle into the rough. Back to the 18th green. Wenjin Sun, a 4-footer, 5 birdies on the day, 4 on the back 9, just the one bogey that came at 3, finishes at 4 under. Unable to join in on the birdie parade. Wanted that to be her final swing of the day, but bogey for the second time. 5 and 18, 2 birdies elsewhere in the round, and she finishes at even. quite the fairway, but not the worst lie she will have played from today. Just cutting across this 18th quite expertly. That's what we'd expect out of Sung Eugene. The final walk to set up their approach shots. Some of the last images that we will see from this day. Hong Jung-min has arrived. Even par is a quiet day by her standards. Has one last putt to try and change that, saving one of her best approach shots for last. Just a little bit beyond and onto the rough. She needs to hole out, or she's finishing the day over par. She needs this close. Needs the backspin and gets the backspin. She'll be undaunted by that putt based on what she had just accomplished at the last. She'd probably like to play her second round right away. Give her a minute to get some tea and a snack and just keep on out at this course because she has solved it.
잘할 것 같진 않아. 완전 잘할 것 같진 않고 조금 한 1 정도 쳐준다는 느낌으로 2 정도?
Her 71st shot of the day. And her final shot of the day. Up and down, 2, 9, and 18. Her birdies, a couple of bogeys. Tell you, 1 under feels a whole lot better than even, but she'll know. She left some shots out there today. the spectrum of putts she's made today, call this one of the easier ones. Maybe a bit of pressure though as she tries to move into a share of the lead. A tap, it's online, and it's perfection. Just as the round had been one shot off of a course record, she would have had it with a few more millimeters as that run of birdies on the back nine took a brief departure with a couple of pars. Yong finishes off with her par. It's a 73 today. Tied for 83rd out of 132. Her birdies at 6 and 11. 3 bogeys otherwise, and has quite the deficit to try and overcome this weekend. So they'll make their way to the clubhouse. The cards will be signed, the scores will be made official. But she is one of 3 women who end the day, for now, with a couple still out on course, hot on their heels, with 64s. Go through some of the round highlights. Been a brilliant charge, almost completely fault-free. Ijumi, this an impressive putt that had just enough distance. So she went out with a 31, back-to-back birdies on the 6th and 7th holes, having started on the back nine. She'd have some company. Not quite enough to fully keep pace. And then to their 18th holes. Again, the control, incredible. Her bogey-free round completed, out 31 in 33, and that lead hung on for quite some time. Sung Eugene found her stride. With shots like this, just beyond the fringe, left her with about 5 feet. And just like that, 3 under through the first 4 holes. We know the story by now. She wasn't going to stop. To make it 4 from 4 and move into a tie for 5th position. Sneaks that in to within 3 feet. Onwards to 13. Definitely saw a push. Became a lot of jockeying for position in the late stages of this round. Sung Eugene on 14. Back into that tie for 5th position. Back-to-back birdies. Then on 16. 3.4 meters downhill on a very tight line. Bakbogyam to 6 under par. She would not be able to sustain that with a slip at the end. This, though, for me, the shot of the day for our co-leader. Heading on back and just betwixt the pin and the hole. She'd be level with EJ Yong and EG Hyun 2. Heading to this 18th and final hole. Not a day with much to celebrate, it must be said, for Lee So-young, but a dazzling hole out to finish with her 69, tied for 17th. This effort from Hong Jung-min saw her finish the day under par, and it cleared the stage for one last moment of excellence. And her 64th and final shot. 32 out, 32 in, bogey free, and a lot of exceptional putting that she had on display for us in this opening round. She shares that top spot with Song Gaeun and Lee Joo-mi. Tied for 4th, Lee Ji-hyun 2, Lee Jae-young, and Sun Ju with a 66 today in sole possession of 6th place. Sheehan Seoul, she is on 18 right now at 5 under par. That would be tied for 7th. There you see her level with Im Jin-young. An additional 6 players at 4 under. And 3 under becomes a very popular score, tied for 17th with 17 players at that mark. Have to go down to 2 under to find the next cohort. 10 players, including Im Jin-hee, our defending champ. And the list cascades through all the way down to 132. All in, with just a few players remaining, we have 68 players under par, an additional 14 at even. The high score of those who did not withdraw, that unfortunate honor, belongs to Kim Tae-hee. Chanana, also in the double digits over par, plus 11. Lee Ji-hyun 3 had withdrawn from this competition. She was able to work her way through. Well, our scorecards disappeared, so I can't get you that number, but she is the only player who will not be joining us tomorrow unless there are any more withdrawals. Tough day at the office for Lee Shu-ying, who goes plus 3 at 109. Our low amateur at this point in the round is Im Ji-yu. That's going to do it for us today, and we're hoping to see some more of those skies tomorrow. Less clouds than we had today when we rejoin this tournament at the same time that we began the day today at 2 p.m. local time. For our SBS Golf and Spa Cruise, I've been Adam Jenkins, thanking you for joining us today at Birch Hill, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow as our coverage of the McCol Mono Young Pyong Open with SBS Golf will pick back up on Saturday. Have a great night, everybody.